It's the intergalactic soul, the honorable brother, the revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
Welcome to Power Bombshells. I am Mel, and Sam isn't here because she is on assignment at Deadlock Pro today. So I am joined by the awesome and wonderful, the host of the Wrap here on Fight Game Media here, Miss Keila Cash. Thank you for joining me.
I am very happy to be here to make the hot tag, to be an honorary Power Bombshell once again. This time, sitting in for Sam, who is doing something for herself, watching some wrestling, and we love that for her.
It's true. She's getting to see a very stacked card today. I'm a little jealous, but she's doing research for me partially on how great Motor City machine guns are. And because we're making a case for them getting on the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame ballot this year. Well, when I say we, I've basically like co-opted her knowledge into me making the case and doing everything. So it's gonna be great. I'm very excited, and I do appreciate you being here because I don't know if anyone wants to see me sit and just talk to myself for 20 minutes, but I mean maybe. Hi, Brad. Brad's here. Brad says I'm here.
Hello, Brad.
Hello, Brad. Brad always here. Wait, Daza's guest today was a hat with tinsel. No, it's with annoying bells. So what you're hearing every time I'm making a serious point is going to come out like that. So let's see. And remember, Sam is usually the person that's doing this part, guys. So bear with me. You're going to have to co-host with me like we talked about. And Daza asked about QT, but I know you know QT. It's okay. I know you do. Well, thank you, Daza. That's cute. It would be very, very funny and silly, but having Keila here helps a lot. So, and well, that's the first thing I'm going to get to. Let's get the WWE questions out of the way, Keila, since you are one of two experts. The best thing the WWE has going for it right now in terms of people who love it and are critical of the product. So, do you think QT Marshall's going to end up on your team? Because you guys almost like talked that into the universe, you and Scott, and after that pay-per-view.
Listen, I hold Sam personally responsible. She wanted to ship QT to WWE, and that was before the man put in his resignation 2 days later. I don't know what it is with Sam and I getting together, but we predict stuff, and it happens. And I was horrified when QT said, I'm leaving AEW at the end of the year. I'm going to pursue other interests. Like, don't pursue WWE. Don't do that. Unless it's the
not
PCS
this
coach.
Interest, though.
No, I was offended. I was like, no, this did not happen. I immediately messaged Sam, like, you, Scott, and I spoke this into existence. We need to stop.
That's why I had to bring it up with you guys, because I even listened to that. It was one of my favorite episodes I've listened to. I get to you guys better. I've gotten better, and that was one I absolutely had to get to and it was, oh my gosh, guys, if you are able to get around to checking out our Discord and jumping online, you should definitely check out the conversation. It was after Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And man, Sam was like, you're gonna get him. I don't know. It's like this one, I don't think anyone that I know of, and I'm not like super connected, but with her involved, like I don't think anyone expected that. And then it happened right after you guys said it. And I immediately was just like, I thought of you three immediately. So I had to get your thoughts.
I was like, no. But I agree with Brad when you pull up the message. I do agree with that. I do agree. I do.
what's this? He says, honestly, if I'm starting a company, QT is someone at the top of my list to bring in. His work behind the scenes is immeasurable. You cannot argue this point, actually. One thing I did see, especially from the ladies, and so this does go pretty far for me, as much as QT is one of those people, it's like great behind the scenes, don't put him in front of a camera. Just don't. Like, some people don't know how to they don't know how to say the right thing on camera. They just don't. And it comes off. I don't think that he's like inherently like, he's just bad at that. Like, leave him, let him coach. A lot of talent at AEW, women especially, were just like bummed out. They were like, bye, coach. Like, we'll see. And I know that they'll still have connections to him because he seems like he will not go that far away from that. But it is a loss. And I can't really argue with that. He is worth something. But I don't know. You guys will have to just wait and see if you're going to end up with QT over there with that good hand over there.
That's a good hand for the PC. I agree with you 100%. I think he overvalues himself as an on-screen performer, and his ideas suck. Everything he's done on screen has mostly sucked, and I feel for him. I truly do. But he needs to understand his talent. Training, coaching, working backstage, being a great mind for the business. His mind is great. Talent is there, but you as a star on TV nationally, no, sir. Stay in your lane, which is being a guy that is going to cultivate talent, build them up, get them ready for TV. That is your job. That is your God-given gift. Use that. Stay off my TV. I don't want QT TV on WWE TV. We had GTV back in the day. I don't want QTV back on my screen. No.
I think that you guys, like, on your show maybe would overwhelmingly rather see Miz TV than QTV at this point.
And you know how I feel about the Miz, Mel. You know, if I pick between two people, I'm picking Mike Mizanin, and that is a terrible.
I know, what a horrible thing. What a horrible choice to have to make. For your sake, while it would make for hilarious content, I hope that if they do hire him over there, I think that would be the most appropriate place, would be backstage with the talent, working with talent. And if he doesn't want to do New Japan shows like they're doing on Dynamite these days, then he definitely doesn't want to stick around. And kind of want to talk about the so you don't get to talk about Dynamite very much. You don't get to talk about AEW very much. So how'd you like this week's Dynamite? And I also need to get your thoughts on the Continental Classic, because I've felt like there's some really good wrestling there, and that they might be onto something.
Yes, this concept, the C2 as we coined it on social media, has been very fun. I love this AEW version of the G1 Climax tournament. And Bryan Danielson, this dude with one good eye right now, is going out there killing it in matches against Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, and last night against Andrade. Just banger after banger after banger. This dude is my MVP so far. I love the concept. I love how we're doing things on all three shows to make sure that the tournament is spotlighted in a way that makes sense, gets it done on time, and gets our finalists in position for World's End at the end of the year. So I'm very happy with how it's going so far. I am going to be on pins and needles for Winter is Coming this Wednesday for Dynamite with Swerve and Moxley. That could be a match of the year candidate. And I don't want either guy to lose, but if I'm trying to get somebody over, I'm picking Swerve.
Dude, I know that they're resistant because it's that Tony Khan thing. It's where you get into the thing with him where it's like, you've got to kind of go with it, and you've got to be more flexible. And he tends to be more rigid. I worry that he's not going to go with Swerve, even though he should so flippin' obviously. He has a bad habit of not doing that when he should do it. Like, of killing someone's woman. Like, when, I don't know, the Acclaimed were really hot, and then all of a sudden they lost the belts, and that kind of went away. Or when it was like Wardlow or even Hobbs were right on the edge, and now Swerve is like he's as big as he's been in a long time. Maybe since like I was watching him on the Indies, because he was over and evolved. Like, we loved him. He was amazing. But yeah, I hope. I mean, Mox is like the perfect bit. You beat Moxley. Moxley can lose. If you beat Moxley, you're made. You're a made man now.
Yeah, I mean, it's time. This guy is so good. His best year ever. The crowd loves him. We got Prince Nana doing the dance for him that gets him even more over. But it's Swerve. His performances in the ring, on the mic, the swagger he's had has been amazing this year. And granted, he went through some trial and error with some of his factions that went nowhere. But Mogul Embassy, that is hitting for him. Him being the leader of that crew and him having classic matches against Hangman, that Texas Death Match at Full Gear will go down as one of the most disgusting, gnarly, beautiful matches I will ever see. But this is now the time to push Swerve in a championship position heading into next year. Triple crown him. I am tired of this, Tony. Book him, push him, do it.
I'm ready. I'm so into that. I mean, I am 100%. Daza says Swerve should be champ. I agree. He is really found when he finally did find it, and you were right, but I think that takes time. I think he had to get out of WWE mindset. I think he had to like get back and remember that he was a like good, very incredibly talented wrestler, and that he has a good thing going for. But this is the strongest. I like this version of him the best. And also, you're not allowed, didn't the internet tell you that you're not allowed to like the Texas Death Match because you're a girl?
I lost a memo in the mail, and I'm glad that I did. Listen, I loved it. I love beautiful violence when done properly. I love gore when it makes sense. Look, Hangman told this man, I'm going to bury your ass. I'm going to bring my son to your grave so we can piss on it. So yes, I expect maximum violence, and that's exactly what I got, and I was very happy about it.
I agree with you. I just love, I have to bring that joke up every time because it was very fun for a week for a bunch of weirdos to tell me why I shouldn't love that match and why we needed to protect the women and the children from the violent Texas deaths. Guys, it's as Sam always loves to say, it's in the title, Texas Death Match. It's there. It's telling you what it is. Believe it. What does Daza have to say here? Swerve could be the ultimate dangerous, scary heel champ, the champ that heel Stone Cold should have been. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair point. God, oh, I'm so here for this.
Minus
Please
the
let
comedy.
This happen.
Yes.
We are speaking QT out of the universe, and we are speaking Swerve for champion on the 30th. There's so much good wrestling coming up during that time frame. It's awesome. It's like Worlds Collide. Noah's got their show. TJPW's got their show. I forget the names all the time, but I'm watching them this year. I'm committed. And then Wrestle Kingdom, of course, which I'm all about. Wrestle Kingdom. Like, I can't wait for that. But and I really did want to give a shout out to Abaddon and Trish Adora for actually being on television this week and getting that match. I'm sure it was, I don't know what the time frame was. I'm sure it wasn't long enough, but I am glad to see them both on TV more again, because I was the one person that watched Rampage this week. I watched it after the fact on DVR. Not on YouTube TV or anything. So, but it was all good. All right. So let's see. Any other Dynamite talk that we have? Or like, you didn't see Collision last night. You said Collision was pretty good. You should check out the tournament matches. All the tournament matches have. I was hoping that this would be a AEW's G1, and it's starting to look like it really can be.
Yeah, it's really special. I got to definitely tune in for Danielson and Andrade. Got to look at Claudio and Eddie Kingston too, because Eddie had to stay alive last night to stay in this tournament. So I'm very happy he got the W's. I'm going to check out those two matches sometime today or no later than Monday because I got to peep my guys. I love them both so much. But I do want to touch on something from Dynamite, which was the main event. It was 40 years of friendship and how it all came about and how someone decided to whack Adam Copeland with the belt because he concertoed her son.
Yes, that's right. We had the Shayna betrayal this week. How could I forget that?
Well, she kind of messed up the hit, but she tried.
I mean,
tried.
give
She
her a
tried.
break. Like this is probably like, what has she been in wrestling for, like 6 weeks or something? I mean, she's been around it her whole life. That doesn't mean she's good at it.
No, she's going to learn, but I think that she has potential because Christian Cage is an outstanding heel. I love the whole patriarchy gimmick. It's ridiculous. And I thought to myself, will we get that WrestleMania 20 moment of Christian Cage tonguing down Shayna Wayne? It's coming. It's coming, and I'm going to be here for it. It's going to be disgusting, and poor Nick is going to be horrified in the corner, but this is what you get, kid. This is what you asked for, and now you're going to get it. Christian's your daddy. Deal with it.
You chose Christian. You picked your pops. You chose your family. We get a little dark in my group because a couple of us, myself included, have lost our dads, but would be totally fine with Christian Cage healing on us about it. So we make like inside jokes about it a little bit, but also just I was like, I'm not sure. And then I totally came around to it. And again, Detroit, the city of Detroit has heat with Christian Cage. And I'm sure when he comes back here, we will try to boo him out of the building again. But it's like all part of the like wonder of this beautiful, like this turtle-necked demon. He's such a, I don't know. I wasn't in on it. And then all of a sudden I was. And now I've got a friend. He's a very talented artist. And he loves to doodle like Christian saying mean things to people about the popular culture. So I don't know where this is going though. Like what? Because I was really surprised. I was just like, wait, now she's on his side? The story's progressing good. I think that I like the way that they're doing what they're doing. I wasn't sold on how they brought him in at first, but patience paid off.
It did. I liked it a lot. And it made sense because she witnessed her son get concertoed by Adam Copeland. I would be mad too. But after Christian told me I was a horrible mom and I worked at Denny's, I would whoop his ass too. But in the moment, who attacked my son the most? That was Adam. You know you messed up, dude. She wasn't going to help you, but she walked away. She has not made a final decision. And so we await for Shayna Wayne's decision. Will she or will she not join patriarchy and in turn tongue down Christian in front of her son? I need that in my life.
I'm with you, actually. I would love that. Let's see, what do we got here? AW goals for 2024, hire more women in tag teams. That's what Eddie says. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Women's tag teams? Edge vs. Christian. Brad says Edge vs. Christian wrestling in the main event of an AEW show in 2023, and it didn't feel out of place at all. That's a really good point, too. It did not feel out of place, actually. They did a really nice job with this story of doing this is like Tony makes me frustrated because he can do this stuff and kind of give these people, but these are really experienced wrestlers too. So, I mean, in fairness, like these guys know what they're doing, but I'm glad that they let them kind of take the reins with this. And it's got all kinds of like subplots that are like intersecting in other places. So I think that it's going to be good I'm excited for this week too. I think it was so funny where they were like, and winter is coming. Is the thing now. Like when is winter is coming? It's like this Wednesday. Thanks.
Yo, that announcement that it was coming Wednesday, like where is the 2-week build? It just came out of nowhere. I wanted winter is coming, the promotion, the snow, the frozen ice. No, just by the way, winter is coming. Okay, enjoy yourself.
They have been terrible about two things. One is promoting these big events, the Battle of the Belt show, the Winter is Coming show now. Blood and Guts, they did a little bit better of a job. It was the first time in Boston. They did the same thing when they came to Detroit and did Blood and Guts, but they don't. It's like, guys, these are big shows. Like, you should be pushing these, not just saying on, and by the way, and there's a lot of people even on our network who like fast forward through the times when they even announce these things. So it's like, oh, I didn't even hear that. It's like, you guys really need to work. And then the other thing that really has been terrible, they're like audio syncing, at least through mine, has been really bad. It's like everything is like glitchy. It's like it's not quite matched up with what's online. And last night they had like, it kept like fading in and out, and it wasn't dumping, it was actually fading in and out. And I'm like, is this? Is this TNT? Is this my DVD or my satellite? It's usually them, and that's a little frustrating. So
they got to work out the kinks. They do. And I know there was this big debate between Dave and Brian about the overrun, but it's true. I'm taking Brian's side. I have Xfinity, and they do not have an overrun for Dynamite. It ends at 10 o'clock. If I am not watching the show live, if I chose to DVR it, I would miss 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So they need to establish an overrun in the programming guide to make sure that fans are not missing anything. This is just not a YouTube TV problem. This is an Xfinity problem for myself. And I watch the show live, thankfully. But if I had to go to work, if I had to do something, if I had family situations,
right,
if I needed to record Dynamite, and if I missed 2 to 5 minutes of the show at the end, I would be mad.
Well, and there's a lot in those 2 to 5 minutes. Usually they do a lot. It's not as if that overrun doesn't like contain information that is necessary to people. I'm on DirecTV because I still am, and they do have the extension, but I don't know. They need to figure that out, because why would I DVR the show after?
It makes no sense.
It's like, okay, they have to these are the things that like get in the way of the product a little too much. And it's like, we're going on year 5 here, guys, or we're in year 5. Like, we need to make sure that some of these things are. And I wonder even more if, like, because they were in Canada and there was some of the things where they had to like do crossover feeds because they had to do it in French Canadian as well. It's like, I wonder if that affected the audio, but who knows? The point is that be better. But minor complaints, really, because they've been giving us a lot of excellent wrestling on TV. So
absolutely. And I
feel like they're listening. I feel like they're paying attention. And I think that this tournament might bring things around. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And just you saying year 5, that's like in like a few weeks. Year 5 of AEW. That's crazy.
I know. I think it's the processing, but like COVID made time even more weird. So just that weird time off in 2019 just messed everything up. Now you're like, holy crap, it's been 5 years since that. It's been 5 years since Kofi Kingston versus Bryan Danielson. And
time flies.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. All right, what do I got here? Let's see. We've got some comments here. Okay, so Brad says, that's weird to hear these things about the audio or video issues when I get most of them on Fight. Fight does a good job. I think that maybe, I wonder if they're more focused on that feed than they are on the other feeds, because it's a streaming service and not like, because that's where a lot of their outside the country people get AEW from. What does Daza say here? I've quit Fight and gone back to the delayed ITV shows, and the picture quality is so much better. Okay, so there you go. So Brad's Fight's doing okay, but Daza's Fight isn't doing so great. So that still sounds like AEW's side then, maybe. Tony, too many irons in the fire. What's up, bro? Let's go. All right, let's see. Did you have anything else on the Dynamites and stuff?
Shout out to Tony Storm and
Yes.
Ben Makowitz for coming through with the introduction. That is big time stuff. I love Turner Classic Movies. I love him. So to have him introduce Tony was a chef's kiss, and really good match between her and Sky Blue on Wednesday. Wanted a bit more heat, but I do love this gimmick for Tony Storm. She's run with it. And that is someone I think is one of the MVPs of this year, to figure out her character and become this Hollywood delusional starlet from the 1950s. I love it for her. I truly do.
Yeah, I really love the gimmick. I've never had a problem with it. When he came on, did you see his tweet afterwards where he was like, "What have I gotten myself into?" He was like, "I had no idea that." He's like, "I did this thing and I didn't know that much about it, but now I've got all kinds of people mentioning me that are wrestling fans."
Like, dude, Ben, you don't understand. We love you. Like, we watch Turner Classic Movies. We know you, dude. We love you. That is legit.
You did say at the end that proves that there are movie nerds, classic movie nerds out there everywhere. And I was like, yep, he's right. Yep. So I loved it. I thought that was brilliant. That was such a nice touch. It was so unexpected and wonderful. I'm glad you remembered to bring that up. That makes me happy.
Now I want Ben to commentate a match. Do it.
Funny. He could do it. He's got a line. I mean, he comes from a long history of, and then there's the whole 6 degrees with it, where it's like the person who wrote All About Eve is related to him. Is like a great grandparent or something. So that makes it even funnier. We do have movie nerds, yes. Movie nerd. Daza says, movie nerd here, LOL. Yeah, Daza, movie lover? Really? You're a movie nerd? I never would have guessed that. And Brad says, having Ben Mankiewicz was perfect because not only of the Turner Classic Movie tie-in, which I love, but his ties to All About Eve. See? Brad is the one who told Sam and I, we need to watch, Sam and I should do a viewing party or something of All About Eve. But he's the one who keeps encouraging us to go see it and check it out. And he was the one who told us all of the ties. And he's this person who's related to this person. Him and Daza and Brad actually basically were on this immediately. They were the two first people to be like, hey, look at that. So good on you guys. Good job. You rock. I'm going to move this here, do that there. Perfect. All right. So I have something from yesterday on Jim Valley's podcast that I wanted to ask you on the Wrestling Observer Live podcast. I wanted to ask you about because I figured your codex of knowledge of North American women's wrestlers would be good. So someone asked a question of Jim where they said, when do you think the first North American lady is going to make it into the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame? And I mean, this is like obviously thought experiment. We're playing around with it. We're picking this one as our Hall of Fame, whatever. But do you have thoughts on that? Like, who do you think it will be? Because it's like, you know, they made the point like Becky is Irish, so she wouldn't technically be a North American wrestler. And there's a lot of like, so I wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
Yeah, Becky would be like the go-to, but she's from Ireland,
Right.
But she'll get in eventually.
Right.
But if I had to just pick, I keep looking at Trisha's name every year on this ballot, and I get mad because like she kind of deserves to get in. She broke a lot of barriers for her time in the women's division when it wasn't about PR. It was just about her going out there and working to actively improve. And that was due to Fit Finlay taking that division on his wings and having the ladies train and get better in real time. And we saw that progress. It wasn't for the PR. It wasn't for the press. It just went out there to do it back in the early 2000s. And Trish was at the forefront of that. And I think that her work in that division should be recognized via a Hall of Fame induction. at some point by the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I don't know if it's going to happen. June Byers is also out there. Surprised she's not in the Hall of Fame. Like, if that's a standard bearer to start, that's what you do. But I will say, best shot in the next 10 years, perhaps, possibly, maybe Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. That was who came to mind for me because she's been so influential. She ticks all the boxes for the requirements. I made the point that it's possible. I felt like some of these women have had such a profound impact on North American wrestling, even though they're not from North America. So I think them getting in is a nod because, I mean, Becky's a big star in WWE. You know, Asuka's a big star in WWE. If she were someone that might be considered, I think that's a little bit of a far-fetched because she hasn't really done the drawing thing. But Becky's the obvious one that just belongs in there anyway. But Trish is a good one. That was kind of who I was thinking of yesterday. And I was like, she was the one that really started the ball rolling for actually being taken seriously in WWE as a wrestler and not a feature arm candy, that thing. So cool. That was my one question on that. And then I did have to give a shout out to the fact that I asked Jim if he felt like Motor City Machine Gun should be on the ballot, and he did confirm that that was a discussion that needed to be had. So there you go, folks. That's a voter. That was live on Wrestling Observer Live on 12/9/23. Jim Valley confirmed that we should be having this conversation. I have to get this out here as part of my deal. And so I just want to put that on audio. I have the clips. I have the evidence. And I will make the case. So I don't know if you're a big fan of Motor City, but I'm trying to get Dave to recognize.
I enjoy them. The fact that you timestamped the date of yesterday to say this conversation took place. I asked a question. I got my answer. The discussion is open. Vote for them. I like that. I like how you pinpointed what we need to do, how we need to do it, and when we need to do it. I approve.
Awesome. And now I have Keila Cass's approval, people. That is like, I'm actually honored. Thank you. That's cool. See? I mean, I didn't major in poli-sci in college. Not at all. But so that's I'm excited for trying to do that sort of thing. But all right, let's see what Daza has to say here. Oh no. So Daza's asking me if I've watched All About Eve yet. I have not, Daza. I haven't done that yet. I just haven't. Executive dysfunction is a pain in the arse. What can I tell you? Sometimes you just can't get it all done in one day or 1 week, or I don't know, let's see. Brad says, I'd love to see Jacqueline Moore, one of the most important women ever, having intergender matches that were believable before they were popular. A huge influence and my first wrestling crush. Ooh, nice.
Oh,
I will
okay.
check her out. Joan Byers is obviously the one that everybody brings up, but I think also that one of my things when it comes to the Hall of Fame is how many ladies are voting too.
That is a good point. I don't think it's a lot of us voting, and that might be a part of the problem as well. It's really hard to break that ceiling because June should be in. That should be like the standard. And then we get Trish, and then we get Charlotte, and then we get hopefully Bianca in there at some point. Just, kind of break the barrier, because I think Daza made an excellent point about the drawing aspect being a criteria for being in the Hall of Fame. Like, it should be historical significance and social significance. It should be those two factors. That should be the weighing factor as to how you should get in.
Completely agree on that. It says, Dazzle, his comment was on the subject. I find it a flaw that drawing power is such a strong element of the criteria. I think historical and social significance should play a bigger part. And I do also agree with that. I think one of the things I've even talked to John Muse about, because he was the one who brought it up in the first place on that Hall of Fame episode with Garrett about having Motor City in was, I just lost my train of thought because of all of that, but hey, don't mind me. I'm over here. Is that the biggest hit that they're going to take is drawing. Although I think that from what I've started looking at, that they probably are on bigger drawing shows than people realize. And that was sort of where Jim was at as well, is that like, I think when you start to dig, you start to see that there are a lot of shows that they were on. I mean, it was kind of, Dave was kind of inaccurate in the first place because he said that they hadn't wrestled in Japan. And it's like, yes, they have. They were junior heavyweight champions in New Japan. Like, excuse me. Just they won tag league. I mean, just saying. Whatever. Here we go. Let's see. Daza says contribution to wrestling as a whole should be the criteria regardless of the drawing money. I agree, but wrestling is about making money. So at the end of the day, it is going to factor in. It's a little different than like a traditional Hall of Fame, I feel like, scheme-wise. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I tend to agree with you. But they are always going to have drawing money in there as a part of it with this because of the carnival nature of wrestling and the fact that butts in seats.
Exactly. Their metrics. And like, even though Becky's not from North America, like her one big mark for me would be the fact that anytime that she was on a PLE, anytime that she was a part of NXT, for example, if she was a marquee star, she legit moved numbers. That is a metric that is undeniable. And I think that is something that plays in her favor down the road. And I think about Charlotte Flair main eventing WrestleMania. That is something to consider. That's drawing money as well in that spot. So that is something to say, hey, that counts. I agree that it should be impact in terms of history and social significance, but drawing power, unfortunately, is going to be that thing because it is about who you bring to the house, how much money you bringing in, what metrics you are moving. That is a factor. Should it be the main factor? In my opinion, no. But unfortunately, it is going to be a sticking point for these inductees. That's just how it is. I understand it. Do I love it? No, because it's a barrier for entry for a lot of people, because that is a factor that does not apply for a lot of people, but it does not mean their impact is lessened because of it.
Well, and we know this because we look at the fact that John Muse was able to make the case for Ishii and got him in. So, and I mean, you can argue whatever way you want to about Ishii being a draw or not being a draw. His, like, he got in on absolutely 100% on his significance wrestling. And he should have. Like, he belongs there. I think, but again, I double back to the part of who's, I know of one female voter. Not that, like, I know, like, not the list is out there, but if the representation isn't there, I think that does cloud who's, like, how the voter, it is going to cloud the voter base, I guess, is my idea, is that, like, who's voting matters too.
Yes. Is it the modern wrestling the modern wrestlers themselves, their thought process on this as well? I like to get to know that a bit more because they're in it in the here and now. They're presently in this business. They see how it has evolved and changed. And I would love to see that reflected in the ballots as well. Because when I see that breakdown, that's what I want to see too. What's the modern perspective is, or I expect the old schoolers to do it, not necessarily, but I expect us in this day and age who's actively in the business, who has a vote. I want to see how they're moving on this as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, here we go. Daz's got a couple more comments here, but I'd argue that the concern of the owners, that is the concern of the owners of the promotions, is his fans are historians who love wrestling. Why shouldn't we focus on that? No, you're absolutely right. It's totally true. I mean, it is about, I had a friend who put it perfectly, is that wrestling is uniquely needs the fans. It's one of the sports that absolutely has to have the fans to exist, or else. I mean, we saw it through COVID, how much struggle there was because no fan reactions changes the entire dynamic of what pro wrestling is. And then Daza also says here, drawing money is a concern of the bosses and owners, but a Hall of Fame run by those who love and want to historically cover a wrestler. Why not focus on a different element? It's true. I hope that I mean, we can all kind of shout out to Dave and like bother him about this is like the only way that basically what I've been told is you got to kind of like let him know these things for him to start thinking about them. Part of me is like, okay, that's cool. I don't mind doing that. And part of me is like, shouldn't he's like, if he is like the guy, if he's the voice, he needs to be like more aware. Like he needs to broaden his lens. His lens can't be this, it needs to be broader. Because like you look at the fact that modern, like you said it, modern wrestlers, they don't look the same as a lot of the people that have gotten in over the years. And then some of the new people that are on there. And then who's voting still matters. I mean, I think I don't know. I know that they say that there aren't a lot of historians. There aren't a lot of young people that are historians. But I'm sorry. Like Lyric Swinton is like, she knows more about wrestling at 25 than I could possibly fit into this, like my brain. She is... Her age, I know some people have said, well, she's only 25. I'm like, who cares? If she knows that much, who cares?
Exactly. She's a student of the game. She's like absorbing all of this information, which is very important. And I think the Hall of Fame, the entire dynamics of it is going to change and evolve because we are really deep in the 21st century now. And this whole scope of what it means to be a Hall of Famer for the Wrestling Observer, it is going to change. And I think the criteria is going to have to change because it's so different now. This is a different ball game. We're talking about billion-dollar companies here. This is a lot of money. The talent's different. The time's different. It might be time to explore how do you properly assess who should get in and why, because the wrestlers who are voting, they're younger now and they're going to supersede the historians, and the historians, they're getting younger too. They're not in their 50s or 60s, or in their 20s and 30s. They've studied this business since they were teenagers, living off the Observer, living off of other websites and people that have really cultivated how we think about wrestling and how much it's changed in 20 years. I've been watching since 99. My mindset's changed in 25 years almost.
Yes. Thank God.
It's changed. It has. The industry has changed.
It should.
Yes.
We should be evolving as humans. We should be learning more and seeing more and like opening. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of people in America. Wrestling is a great reflection. You're totally right. Gosh, like I'm glad that I had this conversation with you because I knew that you would have some good insight on it. Let's real quick with Daz's comment here. It's I can't think of another fan base which is so invested and concerned with the making money part over the art, but hey ho. Yeah, you're not wrong, Daza.
Money over everything, Daza. That's how it goes. It's money over everything.
We hear in our halls of fame. It's weird though because nobody is worried about like how much money some of the like people that are in Canton or in Coopersville, you know, I mean, like the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame or the National Football Hall of Fame, or it's like nobody's necessarily, I mean, there's stats and
championships.
Yeah. Wins.
Yes.
And so, I mean, and in a thing that, and I agree with this entire thing. And I mean, I think we're obviously all here on the same page is that the idea is that the fan base is integral to the product. So we should have more, but I mean, that also makes the point of like, oh, we show up and we pay, but I've been to indie shows and you don't pay a ton for indie shows. And I've even been to free indie shows. So I don't think that's necessarily fair. I've been to indie shows that were for like $5 and there's like 100 people in the building and that's a good draw. So, I mean, they didn't make a ton of money. Let's see what Daza has here. What's this? Honestly, this is the one podcast show that gets what I'm saying on stuff like this. LOL. Well, I appreciate that you're here every week, and I know that Sam feels the same way, and we appreciate that you engage with us, and we like a lot of the same stuff, and that's exactly the point. Like, that's a UK fan that we have. That's a bro. That's an honorary broad every week. So good stuff. All right. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else that you wanted to cover real quick here? This isn't going to be a super long show today, folks, because I know some of you are even going to go watch the show that Sam's at. She's over at that Deadlock Pro show. So,
yes, having a good time. And I've enjoyed myself so far. We could freestyle another maybe 20, 25 minutes and just shoot the shit a little bit.
All right, cool. I'm down with that. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, Cody.
You want to talk about Cody?
Okay, Cody. What do you want to talk about?
oh, of course. You said okay. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about? You're right. I did say it. I didn't even realize it.
Yes.
Oh,
so
what does Dazzle say here?
Let's see.
It's like the Hollywood walkway star thing. It's based on talent as much as being a blockbuster earner. But I thought that you had to pay for those stars, don't you?
Yes, $25,000. You can pay for your own star.
I thought that I was like, those aren't all like voted on. Those you can like buy those. Like,
you could buy a star.
I could go buy a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame if I had just a spare $25K on me, which, who doesn't in this economy? Izzy wrestled on a show this weekend. How long before she fused with Bailey? Taza asks.
Let's see. She's going to feud with Bailey in the year 2030.
Whoa.
I'm calling it now.
Who is Izzy now? Tell me who Izzy is.
Izzy was the very adorable Bailey fan that was at Full Sail all the time back in the day. And I remember her the most because Sasha Banks made her cry when she took her headband. And she wore it and she said, "Cry, baby, cry." I will always deem that one of my favorite Sasha Banks's moments of healing on that child. And that little girl cried her eyes out. Like, sorry, kid, but I loved it. I love heels that make children cry.
That's some like solid. You want to talk about old school like wrestling show? There you go. You get it right there. That's awesome. Sasha's the best. She's so great. All right, 2030. So we have a while. See, I don't consume the WWE thing much, so I have to hear it through. I know there was a pay-per-view last night.
Yeah, NXT. Pretty solid show. Pretty solid show.
Yeah. What do you think about, there's been criticism that Dave is like not giving the women, he like gives the women credit, but then like doesn't give the women credit on NXT. He kind of blows off that they're having good matches. I was seeing some of that chatter today.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of the review last night. I have to push back a bit as well, because watching the show, like if this was NXT 2.0 2 years ago, my biggest critique was having people on TV that weren't ready, like Lash Legend. She wasn't ready for national television. They pushed her out too soon, thinking, okay, go out there and work, make it happen. But you know what happened? They pulled her back in the last year or so. She was training behind the scenes. She got better. You saw that improvement last night via her performance in the Iron Survivor Challenge. You see Kalani Jordan, someone else who has maybe 35 matches under her belt, but she is rapidly improving. But the point is, you're not pushing them on TV. You have the house shows back where they work semi-regularly now. They're working behind the scenes. So you do see the effort of them improving. And I do want to see that credit a bit more owed to them, because I've seen the growth. When you don't push people on TV immediately, go out there and do it, it's not going to work. But if you give them the time to grow off television and you see that progress, then you can see the system does work when you don't force it. That was more of a Vince mentality. Oh, if you got the size and look, go on TV. Everybody can't be a Braun Breaker. Tiffany Stratton's another example. She was very green early on, but she improved by, you know what, pulling back, do what you're good at, come back, and then you see the improvement. She was an anchor in that match last night as well. So I think the ladies over-delivered, and I do think they deserve a bit more credit, and that's a testament to Shawn Michaels, who has really showcased women's wrestling a lot this year on this TV show. There is greenness there, but I like the fact that it's not every week we got green on green on green on green on green. It is some spacing in terms of the vets coming out there and doing what they need to do. I do appreciate that. This is not 2 years ago when we just had green people out there fucking shit up and it wasn't their fault. I blame the trainers. Why put them out there when they're not ready? But you see the improvement, and I do appreciate the effort in terms of getting them ready when they're ready.
That's wild. Shawn Michaels being the best women's booker in North America right now is a wild concept.
Not on my bingo card, but it's crazy.
But I mean, when I guess like when you say it like that and you think about where we are, as much as I mean, at least AEW is giving the women's storylines, sort of like this All About Eve thing is really starting. I mean, and they're leaning into it and they're doing the bend ankle with spots and they're doing so they're giving them a real shot. It looks like Saraya and Ruby are having a feud and that might do something. I like that they gave the belt to Julia. I'm not sure what they're doing with her, but we'll see. I'm trying to be patient, as Sam always puts it, cautiously optimistic because of Tony's tendencies. And I don't know. It's just wild. That really, honestly, that's it. That's like where we are. Shawn Michaels, best women's booker.
Shawn Michaels, and it's still Impact in TNA too. I should shout out Brad as well.
You know what? That's a great point. You're seeing these things as well. Brad says that, and I'll get right back to you there, Brad. I'd put TNA Impact above everyone else still with their Knockouts division. Not the deepest, but they use their women so much better. They really do feature them better, I think, is definitely true because they make. I mean, even if it's an Impact moment, like, or a TNA moment, like when you're watching Impact and you're like, oh, TNA moment, at least the women have them too. Like it's equal opportunity having that weird backstage promo moment.
Yeah. And for all of TNA's faults over the years, the one ace they've always had in their corner was their Knockouts division. During good times and bad, that division was always cooking, period, through all the highs and lows.
It is true too when you think about it, because I've like gone back and watched a bunch of stuff that's popped up, and I'm like, yeah, they even had. I mean, they had some of the funniest gimmicks. Why can't I think of her right now? She's the one who had the food truck and then it burned down, and it's driving me crazy.
Oh, is it ODB?
ODB, yes,
yes.
And I was like, God, they had her back for like they did like a fundraising show for her. And I was like, this is really cool. And she brought so much like crazy fun weirdness to like wrestling that other women hadn't done before. I really enjoyed some of her like just silly offering people whiskey. I just found that hilarious. Brad says Chuck Taylor's favorite gimmick on the indies, trying to make as many kids cry as possible. Oh, that's right, because like he even used to do it in like Chikara and stuff, I think. Because those guys were Interspecies and Chikara, those guys were ice cold. They would like go after you, from what I understand. I had friends who back in the day who used to go, and they would like get into it with guys. Kayfabe. But all right. So what are I've got one for you that's totally non-wrestling related, but do you have like this time of year movies that you really like to watch, that you like get in your like, oh, it's this time of year, it's like holidays, or I've got some time off, December, whatever festivity might be you're choosing. Are there movies or other like popular culture type stuff that you have to consume this time of year?
So it's this time of year, I have to like watch some classic Christmas movies. So my always go-to would be like, for me, The Grinch.
Yes.
Love The Grinch. Love that. Love Home Alone. As I am reminded how terrible Kevin's parents are. His mom ain't shit. Terrible parenting. But I love that movie so much. A Christmas Story, obviously, even though I have to like watch it at least 6 times during the 24-hour special.
Me too.
On TBS.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And obscure pick, I love Anna Green Gables, the 1985 miniseries. Both versions. I do not acknowledge the one that aired in the year 2000 because that was trash. But the first two, I actually have bought the digital copies, and I will queue them up and I'll play them, and I will spend like afternoon watching Anna Green Gables. That is my jam. I love that that miniseries so much.
You are, oh my gosh, you just like brought me back. I loved Anne of Green Gables. I didn't know there was a 2000 series. I love that series. I have not even thought about going back and watching it again. It was like my favorite thing. I would watch reruns of it. I loved it. I like hunted down as many of the books as I could find in the library back in the day because I lived in a smaller town, so my library didn't always have like just, oh man, that's a good one.
Yes, I love
Are
it.
you live action Grinch or classic Grinch?
I'm both, but I'm more partial towards the classic animated version.
Me
Even
too.
though it's half an hour, I get my life, and every time he lies to Cindy Lou Who, I laugh. The excuse
really
is
good.
terrible. Like, the light on this tree wouldn't light, so I'm going to take it there and I'll bring it back here. He's not bringing the tree back, Cindy Lou Who. He's lying to your face.
He's being a horrible, horrible monster for really real.
Yes. And Gremlins. I do love Gremlins, Daza. I do. I love Gizmo. The cutest.
That's so funny. I'm gonna get to this. I'll go backwards a little bit on these comments here. But so Daza says Gremlins, Last Christmas, Muppet Christmas Carol, and at least one Christmas horror movie are my musts. I love that. It's Muppet Christmas Carol is like honestly the best modern Muppet. It's the best non-Henson property of the Muppet universe that has happened. And I'm my Rainbow Connection was the song that I danced to with my grandfather stood in for my father, and Rainbow Connection was the song that we danced to because my dad loved it so much. I'm a big Muppet fan. Let's get back to some of these comments here. TNA knockouts, where are we? Delta says someone who's resubbed and binged WWE Women's Matches 2023 the last few weeks. I think an argument should be made that WWE promotes the women way, way better than AEW. That is a big endorsement because I know how much Daza enjoys the ladies and their wrestling.
Yeah, that is a big one. And he's right. I will say there were some valid main roster criticisms regarding the women's division earlier this year. The latter part of this year, I do see, especially on SmackDown with Damage Control, will ultimately beat up Bayley. That day is coming very soon. I'm going to pray for her. But yeah, that's great storytelling of when that's going to happen. And then me and Scott on the wrap have talked about our one outside hope and prayer that Sasha Banks returns to save her best friend after she gets beat down by Damage Control. The Joshis will beat her ass, and I will cry, I will laugh, and then I will pray that Sasha answers the phone, signs the contract, and save her friend.
I see it. I think there's legitimate and there's no reason why, especially now that the restructuring has happened, why it couldn't happen. Because there's way more. I mean, there's just different. It's the company's different now. All right, let's get back to some of these suggests on Daza says, I always watch The Great Escape at Christmas as that's a weird fixture of UK TV on Christmas or Boxing Day. And it's funny that you say that, Daza, because my friend in Ireland watches Aliens this time of year because apparently that is a staple on, I can't remember if it's Christmas Day or New Year's Day, but for some reason Irish TV always plays Aliens. And he used to watch it with his gram. Let's see. Who else we've got? Daza said, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown must be watched by me. One of the best soundtracks in the history of all times.
Yes.
And Garibaldi this time of year. I have to listen to that album this time of year. That's one of my definite musts.
Me too. And it's a shame that we don't get to see it on television anymore. It's been reduced to what? Apple TV? Put Charlie Brown on national television. Stop playing. These kids today don't understand the greatness of this small little tree and what it means.
It's important. They need the Great Pumpkin and they need that tree.
Yes.
Let's see, I'm all about a Christmas. Brad says I'm all about a Christmas story. I watch it throughout the year at least 3 or 4 times during the marathon. I can't resist the marathon. I put it on. I know I see it probably. I get at least 3. It can up to a half dozen. So let's see. I went to a reunion of all 6 of the Christmas Story kids just a couple of months ago. One of my holy grail meet and greets along with Christina Ricci, who I got to meet earlier this year. I think I remember you mentioning that too. So, wow.
That's cool. And Randy in that movie was the cutest little kid. He was so cute. He was so cute.
He really was.
He was. He had like 15 layers of jackets. He was the cutest thing. He was so cute.
I don't know what your environment in terms of like weather, but I'm from the Northeast and live in Michigan now. So wearing layers as a kid to go outside was so normal. And it just always reminded me of like my little sister's like 5 years younger than me. So I would like basically help her get dressed up for winter. And she was cute too. So very Randy-esque.
Yeah.
Little kid. I wish that we had cameras in our hands all the time back in those days, because she would have been definitely worth following me on Facebook for to see my cute sister. Let's see, what's this Joshi's one? The Joshi should take over American wrestling NWO style. Ha 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 ha. Dowsa says
they will. I expect that to happen. Proper spray paint will be used.
Oh, good.
Proper spray paint that's going to stick. It's going to be seen in black, preferably, as it beat up Bailey at the Royal Rumble. I'm calling it now. They're going to beat her ass.
Nice.
Which is, I hate to see it, but it's going to happen.
You know, that sounds like a Rumble I would watch, though. I might have to. I'm still entitled to free Peacock, but I can't get it to hook up and need to call and haven't because, again, executive dysfunction. But it's, yeah. Let's see. Brad says, also have to hit up Charlie Brown Christmas. Dowser brings up one of my favorites, Die Hard.
Yes, it is a Christmas movie, damn it. It is.
You know what? I must have a well-curated timeline because that war doesn't show up. Neither the War on Christmas nor the War on Die Hard is a Christmas movie show up on any of my timelines. So I'm a dove on the War on Christmas here, and I don't care what color my cups are. I don't care how you express good tidings to me as a human to a human. I'm really cool. If you want to do me a mitzvah, do me a mitzvah. I'm happy to say it because, like, at the end of the day, I think we're all just trying to say, have a cool middle of the winter that sucks. But we put pretty lights up and have a good time and enjoy each other and like don't take things too seriously. Oh, here we go. These are classics, actually. I will give Brad this. And there's Rudolph and the Santa Claus stop motion movies, Frosty. Those are really good. I watched Rudolph the other night. Brad says it too here, the Rankin and Bass one. They really are the greatest. They're tough to get, though. You have to like, I think Amazon wants like $8 million for them. I think you have to pay Bezos taxes if you want to own them on your Prime subscription these days. Let's see what's this one says. Brad says, without Christmas actions in Die Hard never happened. That's fair. Yep. It's a Christmas movie for sure. So is the first Lethal Weapon. One of our, who brought it up? Someone in our Discord brought up Lethal Weapon, and I agree with the Lethal Weapon as well. Real quick one more here. Rudolph film freaks me out a little. Well, it's the Heatmeisters and the Coldmeisters freaked me out a little bit too.
Yes, and those bougie, arrogant reindeers that gave Rudolph no respect. I hate all of them. They could all go to hell.
They're terrible.
Terrible. Heels the bunch of them.
That story is more like, I feel like that is another one, like with the Christmas tree. Like, we need kids to see these things.
Yes.
They need hard truths in their life. Like, you can't treat people that way. That's bad. It's not his fault he has a glowing nose.
He should cute. A cute glowing nose.
Dude, I'd love to be friends with I'd be friends with someone who had a glowing nose. That'd be fucking dope.
Yes.
We'd be able to see in the dark. I'd never have to get my phone out for a flashlight. I'd just be like, friend, turn on your nose.
There you
go. What is the problem?
Absolutely cute. Got bullied. I hate the lot of them.
I hate bullies.
I hate them. I'm with Brad. They didn't like Rudolph until he got popular. That is true.
Well, of course. because they're posers.
Poser reindeers.
Poser reindeer. They're not legit organic reindeer. They're a bunch of posers. He should go like hang out with the ones with the people that herd the reindeer. They probably would have appreciated him more.
Yeah, listen, Prancer and Dancer ain't shit. They can go to hell.
Yeah, they don't know anything.
They don't know nothing. They
And
couldn't
what
even
kind of
lead
name
them.
is Blitzen anyway? Like,
Look at us dragging these reindeers that dragged Rudolph. You
well,
bastards.
it's their fault.
It is their fault.
If they hadn't bullied Rudolph, why would we have a problem? Like, we wouldn't need to call them names.
Exactly.
and deny them reindeer games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that beat. I once wrote a short story where Rudolph told Santa and the reindeers to shove it. Tazza says, I would like to read that. That's fanfic I can get behind. Right there.
And we need illustrations of that.
Agreed. My cousin, back in the day, he found this thing that he had made, and it was about he had written for class, like there was like do a Christmas thing, and he wrote about a sad Christmas tree who was really mad that he had become a Christmas tree. And he like complained through all of Christmas, and then he was like, you're just gonna throw me out or burn me. And like then at the end, that's actually what like happened. And I'm like, you were a really weird kid. He's like, I know. I was like, can we turn this into a movie? Because it should be a movie. This is like I wish that you could have seen this Christmas tree was like making angry comments like all through Christmas, like in this little book he made. It was like a bunch of panels like we do when we're kids. And also like when I make my Christmas cards, I make them I call my artistic style kindergarten chic. So that's how I make my Christmas cards.
I love kindergarten chic.
I did torn paper Christmas cards one year. I was like, why not?
That was me. Just give me some construction paper. I can make it happen.
I love it. It's so much fun. It's very soothing.
It is. Give me some scissors, construction paper, some glitter, and some Crayola, and I'm good to go.
Oh, we should hang out. You'd totally like it. Like I have a lot of those things. I don't have glitter because I am allergic to Ren Fair. I've become allergic to it because of Ren Fairs.
Okay. I will listen. I want to protect you, so we can put the glitter aside.
I have a glitter intolerance because of Ren Fairs. Because Ren Fair people there's a lot of glitter at Ren Fairs. There's a lot of people that like to lean into the fantasy side of Ren Fair and think that and then there's also at certain fairs, including the one that we used to go to up north, they used to blow glitter on you like a fairy dust and stuff, except not on people like Bob and me, because we are in our hardcore gimmicks, and they look at us and we look at them, and it's like, if you blow glitter on me, I will use this sword on you kind of deal. So they don't do it with us anymore, but it's one of those things that it's like with the when they were using the spray paint, when the Outcasts were using the spray paint, I was really mad because I've had to use for my hair and for things like that, and that aerosol, like old school Aquanet, I was like, no, they're getting a face full of that horrible aerosol smell. It's terrible. Cut it out. I think I had a breakdown on the boom about it.
Oh no.
Sam and James were making fun of me. It was very fun. We had a ton of fun. It's like, you don't understand how hard it is to get that out of stuff.
Ugh. Especially green on top of that, which is
I know, right? It just smells so bad. And you get a face full of it. There's no way to avoid it. It's just like, but I don't mind arts and crafts glitter though, because I worked with kids. So yeah, you just have to not be the fine, I'll be finding it for 30 years.
Yeah. Kind
of glitter. But that would be fun. I like crafting. I'm going to make I'm still in the process, but I've got a plan. I'm going to be making the official Fight Game Media World. Wait, what did we decide? The Universal World Heavyweight Championship. The undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Championship. That's what it is for Fight Game Media. We're going to have a belt like they had on BTA. for the winner of our fantasy football league.
Oh, I cannot wait to see the finished product of that.
And what we can do, what I figure Sam and I decided that what we can do is we can, after the fantasy football league, we can start challenging each other on our shows for to random, like they did on BTE.
I love it.
She doesn't want to do the water bottle thing. She's like out on that, but we want to do like inner challenges to see. And I'm going to make it so that it's easy for us to send it around to each other if we have to, but I have a pretty creative way that I've decided that I want to do it so that we can change the faceplate without it being a big, mess when everybody wins.
I love that. I love it.
So stay tuned to this channel for that sort of thing.
Now, see, this is the championship reveal I want to see besides the one that's being hidden for the C2. That's the belt I want to see. I want to see the
second most important belt of 24.
Yes. Yes, I want to see this belt, and I was going to get passed around state to state. I need this.
I think it'll be fun because our group here on Fight Game Media will have a lot of fun with that sort of thing. And a lot of us, like, we listen to each other's stuff a lot. So we already have we have crosstalk jokes already in the Discord and place like that. I was like, this will be perfect. And Sam was, of course, on board because she loved the BT Championship. So I just think this is such a fun group, and we're trying to get people to pay attention to our YouTube channel more. So we just want to do fun stuff. That's the kind of thing. Silly reindeer ears, Fight Game Media, penultimate champions of fantasy football. Right now, it's looking like Jeremy's gonna crush us all, but yeah, I still have a chance.
You're gonna rack up like 12 points in the blue league for yourself.
There you go.
There you go. You're going to do it. I believe in you, Mel. You can make a comeback. I love Jeremy, but I'm pulling for you, even though he might have this slam dunk closed. No, there is still a chance. If you're still alive, there is a chance for you to make a great comeback.
It's true. As long as I'm alive. And I mean, even Sam is still alive. So. But I'm playing to clinch today. So here we go. It's on. All right, let's see. Did we get everybody? I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah, love the conversations.
I want to throw in, for me, guys, Gremlins is definitely one. Die Hard is one. I'm also a big fan of Scrooged. I love Scrooged. It's one of my most favorite movies for this time of year. And for those of you who enjoy having like family trauma that was being made fun of, that it might trigger you or it might just make you laugh. In my case, it makes me laugh, is The Ref, which had Kevin's. I know we got to separate the artist from the art, but it does have Kevin Spacey in it, but it also has Dennis Leary in it. And it's about this struggling couple who they're like fancy pants couple who have a family Christmas dinner, but they get hijacked by a bank robber or a thief, and it's very funny. It's old school funny. It's take off your serious 21st century mindset and just laugh at it. Funny, but it is one of my more favorite. It's kind of like Home for the Holidays. It has that. I know some people don't like that kind of humor because it's too triggery. But I think it's funny that there's other people in the world who had crazy families like me. And they made movies about it. All right, what do we got here? Oh, hang on. All right, so Daza says, I feel responsible for the end of the Patreon as I resub the morning Gigi made his announcement and he was ending it. I wanted to be in the live get-togethers. LOL. I'm gonna talk. I saw you comment about that, Daza, in the Discord, and I will talk to Garrett, and maybe we can pull together one more before the end. I think this is a good enough group that we might be able to try that and pull that off. So stay tuned. I'll do what I can. And thank you for having a blast. We have a blast having you here. Love Actually, that's one that a lot of people like. So Daza says, I like Love Actually, which gets all kinds of criticism, but it also gets all kinds of love. Yeah, I know many people who enjoy that flick.
It's a classic.
I think Like What You Like.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best philosophy of all, especially this time of
Absolutely.
year.
Absolutely. Don't shrink away from what you love because it might not be for everybody, but it's for you. And that's what's important. We all have our guilty pleasures.
Exactly. All right. Favorite Christmas food, real quick.
Ginger snaps.
Mmm. Ooh, that's a good one. I went to the cookie sale at the library this week.
Did you get any goodies?
They were okay. Some of them were okay. The peanut brittle I bought for Bob. He said it's really good, homemade peanut brittle. So, and I've got an eggnog cream star thing that I kept for last because that's what I'm looking forward to. I like eggnog, but I can't really consume it because my guts don't like it so much. And so I go with like flavors and stuff a lot. I mean, I can have a little, but
yeah, but not too much. I totally understand it.
And I mean, let's be real, like eggnog pretty heavy to begin with. I mean, it's like
it is.
Have some like rum flavored egg and cream. I mean,
and I'm the weirdo in my family because I refuse to put any alcohol in my nog. So I just go to my local Publix. I'll get like some low fat, very healthy-ish eggnog. I don't put any alcohol in it and I sip. And I'm the weirdo in my family. Like, no, I don't like no alcohol in my stuff. I just like my plain eggnog, give me my cookies and my red velvet cake, and I'm good for my Christmas dessert. I'm good.
I like that too. Yeah, I honestly like putting alcohol in eggnog wasn't really a thing until I got older because I mean, if the adults were drinking, I wasn't paying attention, and that's not something they did. Like they would pour you like the tiny little glass of eggnog, and that would be the like what you would get. And so I only ever drank it without alcohol for most of my life until I started going out into like more human situations where it was like, right, the rum flavor is actual rum. So, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not like cream drinks. I like, but don't like that much. It's like there's just so much to it. It's like having a stout or a porter. You have to be prepared because you're about to commit to a very, very heavy drink. It's those are desserty. It's almost like its own dessert. It can't have both. And I'd rather have the cookies.
Yeah, cookies are the best.
Plus, I mean, in this case, they were all baked by locals, and it goes to my library, and it was hilarious because I was joking because I got street cred in my little town here because I showed up there and my backyard neighbor was there and one of the gals from the brewery was there volunteering. It's like, oh, look at me. I'm at the important stuff in town now. But no, it's a great little library. I love this town so much. So I'm really happy that good holiday time. Oh, we got some sausage wrapped in bacon. Is what Daza says. I don't know. Sounds like a Bob dish.
Yeah.
That sounds like, I mean, I would try it, but that sounds like something he would definitely get behind. And then we have the summer sausage. Is always a good treat around this time, just so the Target has their supply. And summer sausage is pretty good. My cousin likes the little smokies in the barbecue sauce. He like just devours those things.
Oh, that was me in a former life, but I have forsaken the piggies in a blanket. I can't do it anymore.
It's too much. The more you get, it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to do charcuterie for our Christmas like pre-dish. That's what we usually do, charcuterie at Christmas. So that'll be our thing.
And I love deviled eggs too. Love those.
Ooh. Oh man. Deviled eggs are so good. They're so good. Bad for you, but
they're awful. They're awful for your health.
But it's okay. It's Christmas. This is the time of year when it's okay. Like my cousin, one of my cousins is actually a fitness coach. He's like, he's like, it's okay. He's like, it's all about just making sure that you enjoy yourself and you don't overdo it and you keep on your like schedule and you're good. Just do a few exercises. You don't have to do your whole thing. Just keep your mind and your like body active and have a couple of things. Make sure you indulge and then move on. So it's like, okay, that sounds good. I like that. Yes. In theory, that's perfect.
Yes. In execution, as Mel's laughing, debatable because we all slip. And that is a fact. But moderation is key. But that's what we have New Year's for, to correct all of that for the next year. I will not put resolution there. I'll just make a vow to myself to maybe do better. Emphasis on maybe, but I will, perhaps.
I like that. I like that better. I don't like the I'm not a resolution thing because I feel like you should be doing that all year. But it's like I don't know. And it's I like that. That's better. I like the try to be better in 20. Like just keep getting better. Keep improving. Keep like educating yourself and meeting people and going to wrestling shows, enjoying what you like. I mean, we have a lot coming. So Keila, I really, really appreciate you hanging out with me for the last while. It's been really, really fun.
It's been a blast. I said 20 minutes. We turn into 45.
I don't care. It's good. It's good. It's not 3 hours. So everyone's like, whoa, what's happening? They're going to be shocked. Garrett's going to upload this and be like, what's happening? It fits.
It fits. I don't have to shrink it. Look at that.
It's compressing in under 20 minutes.
Oh my God. I used to give Gigi hell. Like, I do the rap with Scott, and like he says 90 minutes, and we used to do 2 hours, and he would be like, why is this 2 hours? I said, because we have a lot to talk about. But we've been much better this year. That was not a resolution. We just chose to be better and try to cut it to around 90 minutes and sometimes push it just in case something major happens. And what happened this year? A lot of stuff.
Oh man. I'm actually shocked that nothing crazy happened because Dave was on vacation this week. So
I know.
I was like, nothing really serious. I mean, like the Shayna thing was like a normal wrestling thing. It's like, okay, cool. Like, yay.
No breaking news.
So it's happy. Like, so it turns out he can go on vacation and everyone will be fine. So there you go.
Brian's the problem. Brian is the issue because when he leaves the country or the state, things happen.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Fired, things happen. Companies get sold.
It's him who has to stay away from vacation. Oh, so Dowsa says, Keila, your voice makes me want to watch The Warriors.
He has said this twice now, and
have you watched The Warriors before?
I have, and I totally get it, and it's a compliment. I apologize, and I thank him at the exact same time.
Okay, all right. Brad made a resolution about a decade ago to never make another resolution. It's the only resolution I've ever been able to keep. Very good. No regrets. That's what I like. It's the best. That's the best resolution. You guys get it. See, these guys get it. This is why I love our audience so much.
I love them too. Good. Every time I drop by.
Well, Sam will be back next week. Keila, tell the people all the stuff they need to find you.
All righty. So you can follow me on Twitter at Lady Wrestling X. You can find me tweeting about wrestling, General Hospital a lot as well. And I have to laugh because every one of my wrestling people liked this egregious tweet I made a couple of weeks ago. And I saw the likes. Now, all of my wrestling people following my General Hospital movements, I love you all so much. I appreciate you. I do the wrap every Monday morning with Scott Young, covering everything WWE via the wrap on Patreon, soon to be on the free feed of Fight Game Media once again. So you can tune in every Monday. Scott and I'll be doing a special Monday show talking about CM Punk's decision. Will it be Raw? Will it be SmackDown? Will it be NXT? We'll talk about that. That should drop sometime early Tuesday morning, recapping Deadline as well from NXT to wrap up the week and what's to come as we get ready for the Royal Rumble in about a month and a half. And that is crazy.
I can't believe it's that close.
Yeah.
It is, though.
It's close. It's close.
Definitely follow the free feed, guys. Even if I'm not a WWE consumer, but I do enjoy listening to Scott and Keila break it down because they're keeping WWE. Let's try that again. They're keeping WWE honest. They're pointing out. They're just like we criticize because we love.
Yes. And if we didn't love it, we wouldn't talk about it. And I just like to show love and critique and analyze and talk about it and praise it and do whatever I got to do. It's a much better space to be in versus this time 5 years ago when I basically said, WWE, you can shove it. This was sad times 5 years ago. I was retired as a podcaster 5 years ago. That's how bad it was. But I'm back now. There's great wrestling across the board. WWE, AEW. So I'm good. New Japan, Impact.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're back because now I get to know you and we get to hang out on this network. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share, please tell your friends. Please check us out. It really, really helps us out. And we never remember to push the super chats, but you can always super chat us if you want, if you guys want to help us out. I know that the Patreon is going away, but those super chats go straight to the people that are talking. So when you're on with us and we're live here, and we usually use it to help fix up stuff on here. We all kind of tend to put it back into here, whether it's having our SS feeds or making sure that we have software to make fun graphics for you or other dorky stuff. So, all right. So I am going to say have a great day. Have a great week. Sam will be back next week to tell us all about Motor City Workhorseman and her first Filthy Tom experience.
Ooh, I need to hear that story.
Yeah, she's seen Filthy Tom today. So enjoy the Deadlock Pro show if you guys are all watching. Thanks again to Keila, and we will see you guys next Sunday at 1.